Have you ever experienced a client who rated their pain higher than you expected? Has anyone ever rated their pain a 10 or a 12 or a 20 out of 10? What on earth does this mean when you have described the upper limit as the worst imaginable? Well, it may mean that the scale you've asked them to report on doesn't adequately translate the level, intensity, or importance of what they're experiencing. In other words, it's simply the wrong scale. Consider that pain is not actually objectively measurable. I remember when Dave Walton talked about Margot McCaffrey's quote, "Pain is whatever the experiencing person says it is, existing whenever the experiencing person says it does." So how can we assist our client in relating this subjective, wonderfully complex concept to us in a way that honors and respects their personal experience? Our most common tool is some sort of pain rating scale. Pain rating is an often fruitless endeavor, due in part to its personal and subjective nature. However, this rating is the most common and basic level of communicating pain experiences practiced every day by therapists and patients around the world. Catherine Schottmeyer said in a presentation on a new pain rating scale that the idea of being free from pain is an impossible task. Treating it in that way is frivolous. A typical numeric rating scale, or pain rating scale, is purely visual, often not well defined between the 0 and 10 descriptors, and does not bring attention to function. Concentrating on pain and despair is not a good foundation for moving past it. Instead, drawing attention to ability and function will often be a more successful plan. So what type of tool can we use that is patient-centered, of a common language, and capable of capturing more accurately the unique and complex patient pain experience? Secondly, how do we get the client to move past the pain experience without minimizing or trivializing their experience? We need to avoid creating distance between their very important firsthand experience and the important and relevant science that we all read. This can be accomplished by a novel pain rating scale that combines pain rating with client function. Let me introduce you to this simple rating scale. It's a one I use in my clinic. It seems to be a drastic improvement on the standard scales. The DVPRS, or Defense and Veterans Pain Rating Scale, was presented by Catherine Schottmeyer in a talk that I attended called "I Am Not a Number, Understanding and Improving Pain Assessment Mandates in Healthcare." The purpose of it is to move a person past the rating of their pain experience and into the consideration of function. In other words, directing them from their complex emotional experience into a reality of daily activity. I've heard many times from clients that they really like it. As you can see, there is a familiarity in it that will immediately speak to the client. Little instruction is required to ensure its proper use. There are 7 different descriptors used to help the client place their experience. First, there are text-based descriptors, mild, moderate, and severe. Secondly, you see steps rising up as the experience worsens. There are also descriptive phases that hope to relate to the patient's personal experience. More incremental steps, this time on a bar graph, represent the growing intensity of that experience. Colors are also used to illuminate the spectrum of emotion from the enjoyment of green to the urgency of red. An actual numeric scale of 11 possible points that we are all used to, and text-based descriptions for each numeral. The description starts with a suggestion for how much it gains or demands the client's attention and immediately aligns this with a functional statement. I let people view the diagram for about 5 seconds before asking them to concentrate specifically on the descriptions at the bottom. This is all that's required to begin transitioning their focus from concentrating on the emotional experience to a functional reality. What a great place to start. What I recommend is to have your support staff place color copies of this scale in a plastic paper cover and tape to the wall in each client cubicle at eye level right beside the chair. Start using this scale instead of your traditional choice. Simply ask your client to rate their average pain throughout the week using this scale. Once they choose a number, confirm that the functional description on the bottom is in fact accurate. If not, guide the client to a functional statement that more accurately matches their experience and walk it back to a number. Over time, you will notice a more consistent rating that actually changes with functional improvements. Most people will tell you that their pain fluctuates. Ask them to rate the highest and lowest pain so that you can view the experience within a range. This is more functionally accurate anyway. This can be a jumping off point for you to start educating your client about pain. a place that starts with neurophysiology. View my presentation titled Blood Heals for a simple strategy to explain how the body heals in a way that all clients can relate to. The client education printout makes the lesson more consistent and fosters client retention. Each sheet in this series provides you with a simple structure for client education and maps out a reasonable progression toward higher levels of activity and self-reliance. All sheets are shareable and easy for your clients to relate to. For now, let's start our journey by trying this simple tool and enjoying the improvements that it fosters in your clinical life. Have fun and enjoy.